Oh, right then. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to round 5 of the JACKOCAR Cup Series. It is not Owen Wyatt's voice. It's everyone's favourite league owner. It's me, it's Jacko. Tonight, however, joined by, what's your name? Matt Shepherd.
Matt Shepherd.
Kia Series driver, TGP2 driver, and now temporary stand-in, maybe permanent commentator, question mark, so that I can race on
Maybe.
Thursdays.
Maybe. Let's see how this goes tonight.
We will
Excited
see.
to give this a go. Never commentated before, but hello everyone.
Fantastic. Matthew, welcome. Fill you in with Cup Series. We are coming back off of a 1 week break. Obviously, somebody went on holiday. I don't know who that could be, but it does conveniently fit around the dates of when I am available. Does this tier? We had 4 races before that break, however, which saw Jamie Wright win 2 of them in China and then Zandvoort, so rounds 1 and 3. Round 1, of course, was on his Joker. Speaking of which, there are no Jokers tonight. Jake O'Sullivan got the win the last time he was in the USA, round 2 in Miami. And then Ben Shaw was most victorious in Portugal. That was his 3rd win in Portugal in the Cup Series in JACKOCAR. And we arrive in Austin, round 5. Jamie Wright, he has won 3 successive races here. Looking for 4 tonight. Of course, winning doesn't matter too much for him because he is already advanced to the playoffs. But of course, you cannot beat the feeling of some extra playoff points. So we'll be looking out for him later in the session of qualifying. Actually, 3 minutes 30, he comes out. Ben Shaw is last out, but first out it will be Tez peak stop in a couple of seconds, I assume. Matt, how much of the Cup Series have you actually paid attention to? Because I think you have a start, don't you, this season?
I have had a start. I joined in Zandvoort a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, that race came to an end about 100 meters off the starting line.
Okay.
So it didn't make it that far because there was an on the grid crash.
So, if anything, you did better in your 1 race than what Corey did in 9 races in season 6 before he got going. Eventually went on to win the chase, didn't he, did Corey?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Okay, so I won't ask that again. How successful has your Cup Series career been? But whilst we wait for Tez to get around to start his lap, how are you finding the Kia Series and the new pit stop rule? It's good to have a driver finally here to talk to us about that.
I'm enjoying the Kia Series. Obviously, I drove in a few races last season. This is my first full season in the series. I'm enjoying it. It's a different style of racing than I've been used to in other leagues, which has just more been sort of short 25% races. It's basically just flag to flag with no sort of pit stop rules or anything. But in terms of the new pit stop rules for this season, I think it's good. I think it stops it having... Sorry, I'm trying to think what to say. Having the minimum that your mandatory stop can't be before lap 3 is quite good, because it does take out all the people who pit on lap 1 and then effectively run a 1 stop till the end.
Yeah, it's certainly opened up a whole new world for JACKOCAR as we see Tez just touch the wall there. Anyway, we'll guide you through a lap then of Kota, one of my favourite places. Of course, I was meant to go there, but it didn't happen. Damn COVID. But into turn 7 comes Tez, I believe this is. Sorry, turn 9. I apologise right now. And this is one of those corners as we head down towards turn 11. It's so wide, isn't it? There's multiple braking points, multiple lines. There's no real good line through turn 11 as we head up into the sunshine. Then this won't be the most competitive lap that you'll see today. Obviously, Tez normally waits till round 10 to save the very best, but into the braking zone for turn 12. This is where I would have sat in 2020 had it not been for coronavirus. But, I'm not bitter. I won't mention it again. And
You'll
turn
definitely
13,
mention it again.
I definitely will. Well, turn 12, coincidentally, is where I also lost a race-winning TGP series, but I won't mention that either. As we come out of the stadium complex and past the tower on the right, and in this inverted turkey turn 8, which is actually turn 16, 17, 18, as we head down to 19, the penultimate corner of the COTA circuit. Out next is Sullivan Lewis, who we'll see in a second, and final corner then for Tez Peakstop. And DRS activation, that's also the restart zone for tonight. He goes P1 for now, 1 minute 40, but that will be beaten, I could assure you. Risky down in P10. How's he getting on? It's valid for the moment, Matt.
Yep, he's okay. He's about to come through the turkey turn 8, like you said, was turn 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, and of course, we look at that livery that he uses. It is one of the best, I think.
That's a very good livery. I've never seen that before on the game.
No, that seems to be his colours as well as he goes P1. Again, that's not a time that will be particularly competitive, but it'll be P1 for now. Next up is Michael O'Keke, still looking to try and pull something together. There's a man who deserves so much more out of this league, but he just struggles and struggles each week. Maybe as we go stateside, it'll work out for him. DRS open then. And down towards that famous turn 12. Well, I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but this is where I would have been sat at the, the 2020 race. Ah, oh, stop it.
Do you have any plans to go back out again? To go out?
I do, actually. I'm in Texas later this year at the same time as the Grand Prix, actually.
But how convenient.
But not for the Grand Prix. It falls very close to my birthday, where I'll be in, I don't know, Amarillo or Denver, something like that. I've not worked it out yet. But here is O'Keke, 1 corner to go. I should now actually take this time, me and you, Matt. I'm not an expert at this, and neither are you, so I apologise if the quality of commentary is not to your high standards that you expect in JACKOCAR. 155.6 for O'Keke. Next up, Michel Goris, one of the guys that you race with. He's invalidated, but one of the guys you race with on a Tuesday night, and me.
Yes, he's very quick.
Yeah, one of the fringe drivers, can race in both tiers. Of course, invalidation will leave him in P10. That was a 137. Would have been good for P2. And we move on.
Good. Who's next?
Connor Byers. So down in 17th. Just come out the turn 11 corner.
And heading to the turn that, if you didn't already know, Jacko would have been sat
at. Have I told you that yet?
No, you haven't. Please tell us again.
No, I will drop it. 3 times. I think I can get away with it 3 times. Turn 13 then for Connor, back in purple this week. Best ever finish, by the way, in the Cup Series of only P4. He will be looking to improve that as the season goes on. He does have the ability. He just has not managed to piece it all together just yet. Best start, I believe, is P3. So pace is there as we head down in
that podium.
Oh, absolutely. Turn 20 then for Connor. It looks good enough for pole for now. It's a 1:34.6, the new benchmark. As we move to Danny Quinn. Of course, recently left Team Speed to join RDR. He now finds himself with no backup on track. And this is the man that could have won on Tuesday night around the Hungara ring. Didn't quite happen. Fell apart on his Joker. Goes P2. And Matt, I'll let you guide us through MK Bourne's lap. Currently P9.
Currently coming into the twisty Hockenheim-like section. And, I can't see the split. I don't know how far he is away. Coming through the Turkey turn 8.
We're going to have to rely on radio commentary for this because I am just adjusting the audio settings, so guide us through it.
No problem. He's coming up to the final turn. Very neatly done. DRS open, slams on the throttle, and he goes 4th. 0.7 off.
1:35.3 then for Mike. Next up is Jess.
Another fellow racer in the Kia series.
Absolutely. And of course, what's special today? On Tuesday, she celebrated her 50th Kia Series start. And tonight is her 50th Cup Series start. So you do the maths. That is 100 JACKOCAR events. And I believe she is the fifth to do that. The fifth person to get to 100. Let me confirm that for you. Yes, she is. Yuri Hazelager, Michael Okeke, Pete Knighton, Mike Kettelborn, and now Jess Ball, the fifth of 83 drivers in JACKOCAR to reach 100 races. And it won't be too long before we celebrate Michael Okeke getting to 100 Cup Series races. Jess goes P5, by the way.
Not a bad time, that.
Not at all. Very good for Jess. On the, of course, still learning medium traction, you could say.
Yeah, she has adapted to it well, especially in Kia.
Yeah, putting others to shame, you could say. Leroy Hazelager then has a purple Sector 1. You still don't know whether to trust that with this game. But it's a lovely looking livery. He's still a bit bitter, isn't he, Leroy, about not being able to compete in Kia Series, but his brother is allowed to. He is
too quick.
That's something that you and I agree on.
Very much so.
Less competition down there on a Tuesday. Through the final corner then comes Leroy, and up to the line it's P2's. Yeah, so Connor's lap looking very good at the moment. Nobody has invalidated, or am I lying? Michel Goris invalidated, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
So then,
everyone else seems to be okay.
Pete Knighton running the Marcus Ericsson IndyCar livery, which won the 500 last year. He said to me before the season got going that from round 6 onwards, he will be a threat. This is round 5, so it's the last night for Pete to make any excuses as we exit the stadium complex and look towards the reverse turkey. It's a lovely looking livery. This is so simple.
It is, I do like that.
But I'm a big fan of it. Yeah.
2 colours.
Oh, and that's
simple,
an invalidation. The invalidation red matching the red on his car. He'll be no better than 16th for Pete here in Austin, Texas. It was a 1:35.9, so he would have gone P6 with that. Kieran Spears, the reigning champion, in a Williams style livery. You see that?
Very Martini-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is something we've seen Casper run before. This is Kieran's interpretation of that. A few more sponsors on this one. Bit more gold, bit more red, bit more blue. And the current champion on a 1:34.0. That's closer to the times that we would expect. As we now move to Mr. Midfield, I'm going to call him from now on. Ben Harrah. Oh, he's invalidated. Never mind. Let's enjoy very briefly his purple and green livery. I think Owen would like this one.
That's quite a crazy livery.
And we say it every week, Matt. This man is a bit like you, actually. He is going to win at some point. You may not believe me, but he is going to. Have you won yet in the Kia series?
I have not. I got a second in... When did I get a second? No, I didn't.
Okay,
I'm thinking of another league, sorry.
Never mind.
GP.
And you're quite good there.
No, I got a podium. I think I got a podium in last season. I did well in Imola. Yeah, I did. I got second in Imola on my Joker.
Second in Imola. Okay, yep. We like Imola. It's I don't want to mention it, but it's a race that I could have won. But it didn't happen, basically, so we won't talk about it. No.
We won't talk about it.
No, we move on. New look then for Yuri Hazelager. Obviously same colours as you would expect from Yuri, but in a different format. The Dutchman, the only replacement in tonight. He's in for Kyle Smith, who is busy driving his bus. And no, that's not a euphemism. He is genuinely on the streets of Coventry, driving a double-decker. As through comes the final, through the final corner, comes Yuri, and it's good enough for P4. Ben Harrah, by the way, had a time of a 34.9, I believe, even though he invalidated. And we move on then to the big names. Casper is next. A brand new livery. Look at that. That's we've never seen that before. On board we go then with Casper for the rest of this lap. Is that his teammate Ben Harrop moving out of the way? Of course, no teammates in JACKOCAR. They are affiliated through ART, those two. And we've seen Jordan Lane run liveries of this style, but a lot more red on this. Very good looking car. And Matt, I don't know if you've picked up yet, all the viewers. I am ill. So just getting the excuses in for when we run out of things to talk about. I've got this covered, don't worry. Final corner then for Casper, running the esports line, the first of the big boys. Oh, it gets a little bit squirrely. It's P2. It wouldn't have been good enough, I don't think, anyway, for Kieran. As we go from Jordan's livery to Jordan himself, down in P20. He's already at the line. It's a 34.7. He goes P6, which means he doesn't get a lot of airtime, so we go straight to the self-proclaimed fastest man in team speed. And here he is, Gareth Hall, Kia Series commentator on
you can do
on a Tuesday night. A very artsy design, isn't it? I don't think I've seen this livery in the store. Gareth, I believe, is the only one. I think he's the only one that actually runs this livery template in the league.
Never seen that before, but it's quite nice.
And he takes it to pole position as well, Matthew. A 33.9. Fastest man in team speed. Yeah. Impressive from the semi-professional commentator. That's fair? I think that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fair.
Jamie Griffiths then. He's swapped out blue and black and inverted them. So it's the same livery, just with different colours. Different way round, sorry. And what can he do as we head down to turn 12? A man who won round 5 last season. However, round 5 back then was Silverstone. That's called Silverstone you'll see at the end of this season. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide. That's going to hamper him. Sitting P4 in points this season. Jamie Griffiths, he's really stepped up his game, actually. One of the faster drivers and one of those that really can win a race and threaten the big names. Down into turn 19 he goes. Can he get this right? Bear in mind the lap is already slightly ruined. Has to take an extra downshift. He might get away with it. He should be looking for top 5 at least. Is it good enough for that? Jamie Griffiths, it's P3. It's good, but it will be beaten, I assure you, because here come Matthew Shepherd. The biggest names in JACKOCAR, starting with Jake O'Sullivan, Cadgeman 321. Will he occupy any of the first, second or third spaces? Turn 12 is complete. Into the stadium section he comes. He's also swapped out his livery this season for this race.
Purple sector 2.
Looking very good for the man from
quick.
4 miles away from Stansted Airport. So that's where he lives, by the way. You know, I thought I'd drop a little stat in there. We like that, yeah. What can he do then? The Season 5 champion as well. Let's not forget that. It's really starting to pick up form of late. Getting more wins and poles on the board. And up to the line comes Jake. It's P1, the new benchmark. Right then, Jamie Wright, 3-time race winner around Austin of the GP circuit as well. You may remember we used to run the short circuit here. And of course, he famously got overtaken in the S's by, I think it was Ben Shaw, actually. But ever since we've ran the GP circuit, Jamie Wright is undefeated. He sits on 19 all-time wins. That is a league record. He also has 16 all-time poles, which is a record he shares with Arnaud. So a pole tonight here will put him on 17 and clear, and possibly one of the greatest names to ever race. But he's invalidated anyway, the 2-time champion. He's going to start from the back of the grid. It doesn't matter. It was a 33.7. Jake would have been pole anyway. So the most recent winner.
Second.
It would have been second. Is that what I said, or did I get that wrong?
You said it would have been pole.
I was wrong. Ignore me. So, Mr. Qualifying himself, the most prolific pole sitter in the last 30 races, then Ben Shaw, the most recent race winner in JACKOCAR, but yet to put a championship to his name. Is this his season? He is the current points leader. And through the final corner he goes. Matthew Shepherd to the line. It's P1 again. It's a 33 dead. It's a massive gap to his arch rival, Jake O'Sullivan. And look at Gareth up there as well in P3. That completes qualifying. And Ben Shaw once again asserting his dominance as the pole position king.
Yeah, that was a very quick lap. 33 flat, quicker, 0.6 quicker than Cape Cajman.
Massive lap.
Be interesting if you can translate that into distance in the race.
Absolutely,
run away with it.
Yeah, and 2 weeks ago, it went all very, very smoothly for Ben. So will he get the same here? The gap is not quite 6 tenths. Oh, I do, excuse me. Only 2 drivers within a second of him. The fastest man in team speed and the Season 5 champion line up behind Ben. Kieran P4. Jamie Griffiths forever qualifying either 4th or 5th. Casper is 6th. And by the way, look at Connor up in P7. What a qualifying that is for him. The Hazelager brothers are 8th and 9th, with Jordan completing the top 10. Quinn is 11th, Risky 12th, MK Bourne 13th, Jess 14th, Tez 15th, OKK 16th, and then your non-time setters of Jamie Wright, Michelle Goris, Ben Harrett, and the Season 1 champion Pete Knighton. Whew. Now, hopefully, Matt, somebody has set Formation Lap to on to give us a little opportunity to chat. But of course, nobody's perfect.
Grey.
Does look a bit grey.
Do we think there could be rain?
Do excuse me having a drink just there. Let's have a look in the Cup Series chat and just see if there's any mention.
Any mention of it? I don't have access to that, so you'll have to.
No, you are not worthy. You need to find another second per lap.
I need to be so much quicker.
Nope. No, no mention of no mention of any weather. Nope. In the chat, normally they all kick off. You know what they're like, these bloody drivers. But anyway, there is Formation Lap is on. So what are we expecting, Matthew Shepherd? Have you raced here before? What are your thoughts of USA and what can these drivers expect?
I think we're in for a very good race, to be honest. It's a track I really enjoy as a driver and to watch. Yeah, I think there's going to be some good battles. Oh, someone's gone very wide at turn 3.
I'm sure we'll catch up to them in a second.
Yeah, it's a very good track. I think you really have to get the setup right here, otherwise it can just completely ruin your race.
It's one of those, isn't it, where the tyres are fine until you start making the mistakes, going offline, spinning, having crashes, all of that, and then it's so hard to get the tyres back down to temperature.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's a game glitch or if it's the Texas heat where it heats up the asphalt.
I think it might be more of a track characteristic, because you don't really apart from the long back straight which the drivers are on now and the main straight, the tyres don't really have a lot of opportunity to cool down, do they? It's quite constant demands on the tyres, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But it's cloudy, so temperature should be a bit lower, so maybe tyre management will be a bit easier for the drivers today.
Let's hope. And I'll tell you what, we'd love a bit of rain here, wouldn't we?
That would spice things up.
Just a little sprinkling towards the end. Anyway, one more run through of the grid. Ben Shaw. Excuse me, I am ill, I assure you. Ben Shaw, keeping the pack nice and tight. We don't often see such a controlled formation lap, but he's doing this very strategically. Jake O'Sullivan is P2. Will we get the battle that we so desperately want with those two? They are rivals, but they hardly ever see each other. Gareth and P3. But I think that might be his best qualifying ever, you know. Season 6 champion Kieran is P4. Jamie Griffiths. We see Casper go for a spin. Jamie's P5. Casper P6. Connor P7. Leroy, Yori and Jordan complete the top 10. It's good to see Casper back, actually, with his new wheel. Back on pace. He is better than P6. But can he get any higher as we look to start the United States Grand Prix? Our second visit to the Americas this season. All cars are now on the grid, and the 5 lights will go out. There'll be a brief pause, and then they'll start racing. It's JACKOCAR. It's round 5 of season 7, and they're off. It's Ben Shaw who actually gets a good start. So does Gareth. He might even get Jake O'Sullivan into turn 1 here. Here comes Jamie and Casper to the inside of turn 1. Jake will push Gareth wide, and other than that, a little bit of pushing further behind. They're 4 wide in turn 2, but it all appears to be rather clean for the moment. I should remind you.
No contact at the back. Oh, someone's off.
Yeah.
MK Bourne.
As soon as you spoke, and Yori is out. MK Bourne got a spin there.
Safety car. Oh,
Yeah.
no, BSC, sorry.
MK Bourne. I'm not sure if that was lag or a reset to track just then. So if you could write that one down for us so we can
check that.
Return to that VAR that at the end. MK Bourne lap 1 reset to track. Possible.
I'll make a note now.
Checking VAR. I was going to say actually the stage points are at the end of laps 7 and 14 tonight. Yori out of this race. We've missed the contact, but there were a number of cars off, including MK Bourne, Quinn and Tez. I don't know if he got involved in that. Tez and Jess fighting on the back straight under safety car conditions. Oh, it's not a safety car. It's a VSC.
No, it was VSC.
So there you go. We've caught Tez making a place for P16. Of course, every position counts in JACKOCAR, and that'd be worth a single point to him. As we go back to the leader, who's got nearly a second gap already, has Iceman, as he comes round to complete the end of lap 1. Risky is
gone.
At that infamous Kieran Spears corner. I don't know how much you know about that. Oh, and we see OKK into the wall.
OKK's gone.
Oh,
He's kept it going.
He has. He's got to be very careful not to
got Quinn and
get any
MK
damage.
Bourne in the pits for new wings.
Of course.
Oh, MK Bourne has slipped past Quinn in the pit lane.
He has.
Yes.
And the problem for these two is these are non-mandatory stops that they're making. Of course, the pit lane is shut until the end of lap 3.
Yes, so they still have to do their 2.
So if you write that down as well to save any confusion. And they come out together. New front wing for Mike Kelterborn. And this could be a spicy little battle. What else is going on? We see... Oh, J-Luke's had a problem. Jamie Wright has spun at the top of the hill. Turn 10, turn 9. And gets back on his way. And we're seeing more action here. Michelle Goris and Jordan. Michelle looking towards the inside, but I think Jordan's got that one done for the moment. Pete getting past Risky as well. The two teammates, are they going to collide? Risky has managed to get the tyres back under control. Continues to fight away with Pete. And around the outside and away he goes. So Pete coming from P20 on the grid. Up to 13th, but can't get any further than Sullivan Lewis, his teammate for the moment.
Oh, T's gone. He's gone at the Turkey turn 8. But he's kept it going.
There he is. T's P16. We pick him up where we last saw him. And Iceman 3 laps in. Has this all under control. You can expect the early pitters to come at the end of this lap to obviously cover off a safety car. Is that, Mr. Shepherd, is that something you like to do when racing Kia Series, or do you like to extend more often than not, go beyond lap 3?
Yeah, I like to extend. I like to use the tyres a bit longer. On Tuesday, I was on the softs maybe for about twice as long as I wanted to be due to all the safety cars. But yeah, I'll try to always extend if I can. But it just depends on the state of the race. Annoyingly, on Tuesday as well in Hungary, I was coming round the penultimate corner, said, "Oh, I'll do another lap on these tyres," and then just as I was flooring it on the main straight, the safety car came out, and I was just like, "Ah!" So I then had to stay on those tyres a bit longer.
I hate that.
Annoyingly.
Contrary to your evening, I had no pace in the first stint, and then I pitted perfectly timed, then the safety car come out on that lap. Oh, risky, he's gone.
Risky's gone. We've got the front four in the pits.
As expected, there'll be no safety car here. Yeah, so I pitted at the perfect time, and then when it come to the second mandatory stop, I pitted, and then it come out the lap after. It was absolutely perfect, you know. You couldn't have wished for anything better, and that's how I managed to sneak my way onto the podium.
Yes. Yeah, I had to pit after that safety car, the final one, and obviously it was 3 or 4 laps from the end. So
of course,
everyone was bunched up, so I had no chance to get back in it, which was annoying. But
you missed out on that battle for the lead, which I found myself involved in. We're just looking. Iceman has pitted with Jake, by the way, and they have come out P5 and P6. There are no jokers, so this is your net race battle for the lead. OKK and Quinn also making their first official stops of the race. I just want to check on stops. Yeah, you'll see Quinn has made 2. One of those is mandatory.
Yes.
So
we have to make another one.
From lap 15.
Hards.
Yes, he has. So from lap 15 onwards, he can make the second. They could all make their second mandatory stop.
Yes, I guess Quinn's probably going for a long stint, maybe to try and get the softs at the end, and hoping on a few safety cars.
Absolutely.
OKK's off.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of, we look like we might get one here. In fact, OKK and Quinn. OKK's just lit those mediums up, hasn't he?
Yeah.
This is just... Unfortunately, it's becoming a far too regular sight. It's so uncharacteristic of him. You know, this is a man that won races in the first 2 seasons. And he's trying to get the heat back in now. He just hasn't been anywhere near that level since, apart from last season's Great Britain race, which he spun 2 corners from the end, battling with Jamie Griffiths, who has now pitted, by the way. Such a shame. Okay, one of those very popular drivers, but with no luck on his side at all. And we're seeing more yellow flags.
Jamie's out.
Now that's very big for the championship.
That's a safety car.
So let's go on board. See if we can see Jamie's stricken car here. There it is. That's quite a dangerous location, actually.
Right in the middle of the track there.
Here we are on board with Jess. She's going to go... Oh, she gets away with it, but yeah. So he's lost it then on the run-up to turn 6. And that's a shame, because he is one of the key players in this season's championship. Leaves the session in disgust at his own driving, because I don't think he was with anybody.
No, and I think that must just have been his own driving. Unfortunately, it does happen, but...
It does indeed on that corner. Quinn makes another stop. Non-mandatory. For hard tyres again. Yeah, so Jamie Griffiths coming into this race P4 in points. He's got the most points out of the drivers that haven't won a race yet this season. He comes into it 3 points ahead of Gareth. So this is, where is Gareth? He is P7, which is 10 points. So Gareth would have a 10-point swing on Jamie Griffiths, putting him well in contention for the regular season championship. And the other 3 competitors of that, Iceman, Jake, and Jamie Wright down in P11, they are all still fighting for that one as well. So maybe Gareth can get involved, the fastest man in team speed, as the cars now start to bunch up behind the safety car. So Matt will look at the stop situation. Kieran, Connor, Jordan and Tez all yet to make An official
first.
first stop, along with MK Bourne there down in P16. Don't think we've forgotten.
Nope.
So 5 drivers yet to make that stop. Of course, they can change strategy now and they can make both mandatory stops after lap 14. So that's lap 15 onwards. And it's very intriguing what we've got here. So the top 4 tucked up behind the top 3. So the top 4 net positions tucked up behind the top 3 who are all on, oh no, medium, and soft for Kieran. Quinn, by the way, making his 4th stop. Let's see what tyres he's put on.
He's gone for mediums.
Which makes a bit more sense. However, he is 3/4 of a lap behind. Can he get back round in time?
Well, OKK's at turn 10, so they'll probably...
Oh yeah, of course I didn't see OKK with his bronze livery car.
Camouflages into the yellow track map at the moment.
Yep. And something that gives me
this lap, so I think they will catch up. I think OKK will catch up, but Quinn
he should be all right. He'll be very fast once Kieran takes control. And by the way, when he takes control, he will also claim the first stage point. But something that was giving me a bit of anxiety there, I don't know about you, is how close Kieran was sat behind that safety car before the end of the last lap. I personally, I'd love to give it a lot of room and respect, but I don't know about you. Maybe it's just a me thing.
I think, yeah, you do have to give it a bit of space, but yeah, you just don't want to crash into it because, I don't think I'd want to find out what happened if I crashed into the safety car. It's probably a disqualification, isn't
it? You'd be absolutely spot on. We have seen on 2 or 3 occasions in the past, most notably of which Season 1 Monaco, Mr. John with his rear tyre punches prevented him from turning around in the exit of the tunnel. Through came the safety car. Through came the safety car. Hit him, disqualified him, threw him up in the air. And that is one of those iconic moments of JACKOCAR.
Well, in that instance, I would be giving the safety car a lot more room than he currently is.
He was a lap down, that's the only thing. He just could not move. But yeah, that safety car is an absolute immovable object. It's just so weighted, if you will. Probably because you're not meant to be touching it.
Probably.
So, Quinn is just picked up a penalty. We saw that as I flicked to him. He'll be alright. He'll get to the back of this grid. Kieran leads us from Connor and Jordan, all 3 of those yet to pit. And then Ben Shaw, Jake O'Sullivan, Casper Klein and Gareth Hall can continue their fight for the lead. When we get going again, safety car will be in this lap. I'm going to put a lot of money on it. Wait for it. Nope, never mind.
No.
Tez, who has not pitted, followed by Leroy and then Michel Goris, the 2 Dutch drivers in this field. Jamie Wright has made his way up to P11. Remember, he started 16th or 17th, so normally makes a bit more progress on that, but he did have a spin early on as well. By the way, Kieran picking up that stage point. Ben Harrett, the midfield man, finding himself deep in the midfield. Sullivan Lewis, Jess Games, Pete Knighton, Mike Kettleborn, Michael O'Kk, and Danny Quinn, who is now only half a straight behind everyone. So one more lap of this, and we'll be on our way again. Not a classic yet.
Nope. Not much has happened, but
they
could
can't.
Get interesting with this restart.
Absolutely, and if anybody likes to cause drama at the United States, it is Kieran. Of course, Season 4 Championship finale. He binned it in the wall on purpose, intentionally. at turn 17. It forced a safety car. He was nearly a lap down. He managed to get himself back into a position to win the championship. I don't know how much of this you know, Matt, because you're
No,
fairly new to the league still.
I don't know any of this.
Yeah, he forced the safety car. Safety car comes out, and he almost, very nearly almost, goes on to win the championship from a lap down. It wasn't the case. It was Matthew Redmore who won the race on track, but had either 5 or 8 seconds of penalties, an amount that he could not overcome. Jamie Wright sat there in P2 and won the first of his 3 races here, and the second of his 2 championships thus far. Meanwhile, Team Speed were having a nightmare behind trying to get somebody else to win. I can't remember who it was now, but it was at this corner where it all went wrong on that restart. But yep, Kieran will lead us round then. And speaking of cause and drama in the United States, a final lap pass last season in race 100 to win his inaugural championship. But that was in Miami, and we're very much here in Austin, Texas. Kieran brings us round to turn 19. The restart zone is one of those funny ones because it starts actually before the final corner. A bit of an anomaly in JACKOCAR, but Kieran chooses when to go, and he's going.
It's gone.
And has a moment on the exit, but Connor and Jordan can't capitalise. So surely Iceman, or maybe even Jake, will look to try and do something with this as they head up the hill towards turn 1. Connor's weaving, and Iceman defends the inside. Casper waits. Gareth up the inside. Can he take away a net P3 here? Does Casper get him on traction? Yes, he does. Back to the battle between these two. Jake and Ben. Through the S's they go.
Gareth's had a moment.
Gareth has had a moment, and he's dropped all the way back behind Michel Goris and Leroy. The 2 Dutch drivers once again. Attention, though, remains on Jake and Ben and Jordan as they struggle behind him as he's so slow on that restart. Connor has got a bit of a better restart, but Kieran has survived the lap 9 restart, but of course has yet to make a pit stop. What about what's happening behind them? Jake, the more likely of the 2, to try and take the lead here. The net lead, that is. Will he go down the inside to the outside? And he will absolutely have a go, but Connor's sat on the exit. He can't make any progress. That's his own teammate, so Ben will capitalise. Through he goes. So Connor must have had a moment there because even Jordan's passed him. Jake O'Sullivan almost tapping the back. There was contact here last season with Corey and Iceman. It might have been Jake as well, actually. And as we wound our way up to the Championship 5, this was the penultimate race of that season. Kieran will pit, Jordan will pit, and Ben Shaw will lead another lap in Austin, Texas. Somehow he's managed to keep Jake behind him, but Casper is right there as well. Connor stays out for whatever reason that is, I do not know, because if there's another safety car, that's ruined his race. And Michel Goris finds himself in a net P4. Good drive so far. Anything to add? Because I am ill. I'm struggling.
Pardon? Sorry, say that.
Anything to add?
No, it's just quite a lot of action on that lap. What have we got? I'm just looking further back down the grid.
Well, everybody is now on medium tyres, Matthew. But which way will they all go at their next pit stop? Will it be another set of mediums, or will somebody fancy a double soft stint? Nobody pitted on that lap, and Tez now finds himself at the back of the grid.
I think Tez pitted, didn't he? Yeah,
sorry,
Tez
yeah.
And Jordan pitted.
Yeah, no, I told you an awful lie.
And Key did as well.
Of course he did. I even said it, but never mind. Iceman down into turn 12. He's got a bit more of a gap this time on Jake, but he'll be feeling the pressure from those 2 ART drivers behind. 3, actually, if you would like to count Connor. Yet to stop in that 74 purple machine. However, he is sticking with these guys.
Yeah, he's still there. He's still in the hunt.
It's just a shame that he needs to make that extra stop, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Michel's not too far behind either.
He's not a very good driver. Michel, of course, taking pole in the opening round this season. ahead of the returning Kyle Smith, who isn't here tonight. Connor finally pits. Maybe it's strategy to try and get himself ahead of Kieran. We'll follow that one in a second. Leroy up to P5, the Kia champion from last season. That was another title that was won on the final lap. What a league this is, eh? It's almost as if it's scripted, some would say.
Connor has gone on for another set of mediums.
He has, and he's come out behind Kieran as well, notably, and Jordan. Will he get out in front of Tez? Where is he? Yes, he does, but he's got to heat those tyres up. So then, next stage point is the end of lap 14. Kieran took the first one. In fact, Kieran becomes the 7th driver this season to win a stage. Ben Shaw, Jake Casper, Michelle, Jordan and Jamie Wright have all won stages this season. Yellow flags out for OKK yet again. He's in the wall. Will this bring out a safety car? Because he's been stationary for a little bit of time.
He's still facing the wrong way.
He will get away with it, but he will drop to the back of the grid. It's not a favoured track of his.
No, it doesn't seem to be agreeing with him.
Not at all. Jake has a moment out of 16. Michelle picks up a penalty. What a shame for him. Quinn, by the way, going along nicely in P12 after those stops. It's not going to be one of those races where he makes like a billion stops and ends up on the podium. We've seen that before. Jake, Casper and Ben, class of the field today, waiting for Jamie Wright to stamp his name on it. He usually ends up there or thereabouts, especially a man that's won 3 races and a title here. You do expect him to make an impression at some point. He has got himself past Leroy. We missed that. As Kieran now on the freshest tyres of the lot, bar Connor, sets the fastest lap of the race. Remember, that is another playoff point available to the drivers as he overtakes the midfield man for P13 in the heart of the midfield. That's going to be an ongoing joke now, isn't it?
Yes. It's hunting down Quinn quite quickly, actually.
Absolutely. In fact, let's go on board with Kieran, who I rudely dismissed earlier in qualifying as not one of the big names. I said it was everyone from Casper onwards, but forgetting that Kieran was on pole at the time. Will he make a move on Quinn into turn 11? No. Kieran very... Lovely. A little bit of contact, but that's JACKOCAR. Nothing wrong with that. Jess is next. OKK picks up a penalty. But yeah, Kieran very much one of the big boys. Not in reality. He's very much one of the little boys. But when it comes to JACKOCAR, the stats do not lie. He's a very good driver. And managed to hold off Quinn into turn 12. Will Jess pose much of a threat to the Season 6 champion here? No, he's going to go down the inside. That's a classic. That's one of my favourites.
Lovely move, that.
Yeah.
A little bit of a moment on the exit.
Beautiful stuff from Kieran. Trying to make up for the lack of pitting before the safety car. It really does hamper you. So he will need one more to really get back into this race. Oh, another moment out of 19. We're going to leave him. We're actually going to go on board with Ben Harrott, who has a lovely exit in comparison to Quinn. This should be done before turn 1. Another fastest lap for Kieran and OKK spun.
Both got DRS.
Yep, so Ben doesn't get it done. Jess gets well out of the way. And Quinn positions his car lovely for a bit of defence, but Ben Harrott around the outside. It becomes the inside. A little bit of contact, has to go wide, and back up around the outside comes Danny Quinn. Great racing from these two. Who wants to give it up? Quinn stays on the inside, but Ben Harrott completes the move for P12, the midfield man on a march. And
Wonderful
Quinn falling away. What a shame for him after that lucky bit of safety car recovery that he had. Ben Harrott, he will win a race, I do assure you. But can Ben crack on and challenge Kieran, who's actually managed to get 4 seconds on these guys? He is flying, is Kieran.
Quinn's coming back.
Yes, he is. Bit of DRS this time.
Got it done before the braking zone, and we've got OKK. We've got OKK spun again.
Yep. I've opted to ignore that this time. Fair play to Quinn, getting back through. Ben Harrott will have another go, I can assure you of that. Jess starting to fall away from these. Jordan really not making an impression in this race. He's on our list of drivers who is next in line, like rightfully next in line to win a race. Maybe not at Kota. He does openly say he's not a fan of this track. But Matthew, back to the front. The gap is under half a second then. Jake versus Ben. They've dropped Casper by nearly 2 seconds. It's these two. That's where the action is once again in the Cup Series on a Thursday night. Half a second, 6/10. You just imagine Jake is planning something. There is a stage point to be won at the end of this lap. Another playoff point for your postseason total. Ben has a moment at a turn 11. That will give Jake all the encouragement he needs to send it down the inside of turn 12. Left or right, he goes to the left and Ben doesn't even challenge it. It's going to be easy at the halfway point of this race. And Jake looks like he's on his way to winning his second stage win, of the season. Ben knows that this race isn't done. If that's just the 14 laps, we've got another 14 to go. We'll go on board with Ben briefly. Oh, needed that drink, my son.
I don't think he's close enough to have a go, so Cadgeman probably will get the point. Yes, he will.
Yes, he will. +1 for Jake O'Sullivan. These two in constant battle all season long, fighting for playoff points and wins and podiums. We see Gareth making a move on Risky pitted, sorry, I do apologise. Jordan now ahead of Jess. And the fastest man in team speed back up to P7, but of course, remember he was higher before that troublesome restart he had. Leroy has not been dropped by Jamie Wright. He's very much there. Or is Jamie having problems of his own? OKK spins. And tell you what, here comes Leroy. Down the inside of Jamie Wright. Gets the move done. Who gets the DRS? It's Leroy.
Leroy's got it.
And he will just edge away from Jamie Wright. And that's move done.
Wonderful move.
Gareth will be seeing that as well. Oh, there's battling at the front. Iceman's gone off.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Neither did I. I saw him recovering the track as Jake retook the lead. It must have been ascend at turn 15.
Nathan's gone. He's had a spin.
Surely not.
Stadium section, sorry.
And they both pit. Oh! Contact in the pit lane between the leaders. I don't think there was any damage. I didn't see any front wing fly off. And it's fine.
See any...
Ben's car is fine. Casper stays out.
Okay.
So where... In fact, Ben did lose some time in the pit lane, but he was tucked up behind the gearbox of Jake. Loads of pitters on lap 15 into 16. Go on, Matt.
I was just looking for damage on Iceman's car. I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, I think he got away with it. Just a misjudgment of braking in the pit lane. It's, I think I said it last week to Owen when he was here, that Iceman and Cadgeman, we've had to wait such a long time. It's very Hamilton Verstappen, you know, where it built up for a few years before they really got to fight each other.
Yes.
It's been like that here in JACKOCAR as well, and they're finally, most weeks now, fighting. And it's brilliant. There's a lot of respect between these two.
That's good. If you can race hard against someone, but you know both drivers are going to respect and drive cleanly. I think that's the best kind of racing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
As opposed to two drivers who don't like each other and just go at it and play bumper cars, really.
And we do see that as well. As we watch from the back of Jordan's car, looking back at Michel Goris. Casper now pits, by the way. Will Michel go for a lunge anywhere? Perhaps not. Jamie Wright follows teammate into the pit lane, which means Gareth will take the lead of the United States Grand Prix. Of course, famously used to live in the States, did Mr. Hall. Then he moved back to England and married an Irish lady. Where did it all go wrong?
Why did he come back?
I know. Yellow flags.
Is that a moment? The penultimate turn.
Turn 19. Yeah, yes. He's recovered. And Jordan has finally been done by Michelle, by the way. In this battle for 6th, of course, Quinn yet to pit. In fact, all 3 of these yet to pit. Connor and J-Luke fighting. Jamie Wright actually managed to get ahead of Leroy in that pit stop phase. You know damn well Connor is going to give Jamie DRS. What's happening here? Tees and MK Bourne. Sorry, MK Bourne and Pete Knighton, I should say. These two came together 2 weeks ago in Portugal. Mike brake testing Pete after a spin. We don't talk about that. Yellow flags.
Another one for Quinn. Quinn's out of moment. Also not on board with that.
Yeah. Jess sends up the inside of the recovering Quinn. He's, well, not just him. Loads of people have had moments in this race, haven't they? But nothing major as such.
No big moments. Just spins which a lot of people have been able to recover from.
As we are now inside 11 laps to go. Gareth leads the way with Kieran behind. Of course, both of them are yet to pit as well, so it does make Jake your net race leader, and look how close he is to those two. This is Team Speed 1 and 2 with ART P3. What's going to happen here? Because we do love a bit of drama. Kieran will do the dummy on Gareth, but it will just help Jake and Ben close up behind. And I'll tell you what, it'll help Casper out as well. He's actually faded away in this phase of the Grand Prix. Let's go aboard with Kieran. He's on the outside of Gareth. This is for the race lead. And Gareth will stick his nose in and keep it there. Look at Jake up the inside. Contact. The 4 of them together. No damage for Jake. Kieran slipped through and took the lead. Jake down the inside of both of them for the race lead. Can he make it stick? Kieran goes wide. Retains the lead. And Jake will not like that. Tries to unsettle the rear of Kieran. Jake is on the inside. Not here. Turn 19. What a move. Unbelievable driving from Jake. Kieran will pit.
He dies. And
he is diving.
Diving to the pits.
Oh. I missed it all.
What a few corners that was.
What a few corners. That was brilliant.
Gareth
and now
went from 1st to 4th, back to 3rd. Now.
And Ben as well, trying to annoy Jake in the process of that. That was fantastic racing. Sorry, I missed a little bit of it as well. I went to change to Ben and they both pitted. Did Gareth and Kieran. It's going to be a race-long battle. 10 to go then, here in Austin, as we see OKK spin from the rear of Jake's car. That does mean he is now a lap down. And I get the impression that this is going to be to the end, Matt.
Yes, I think it will be. Newly fitted mediums should go to the end now.
I think you could risk a set of softs, I reckon.
I think a set of softs might just start to go off before the last couple of laps. But if we got a safety car or something.
Oh, don't say it.
Leroy's had a spin. But he's got going again.
Yep. His countryman comes up behind him. We'll look to try and take 16th off of him. Back to the lead. Who wants it more? Both of these drivers on 1 win this season. And all time, I can tell you, Ben has 6 wins, Jake has 4, 10 between them. And Casper down in P3, he also has 6 wins to his name in the Cup Series. J-Luke, he has 19. And he's the only champion in the top top 7.
Moment. Sorry.
That's all right. I was mid-cough, it's fine. So where are the battles on track? I think the battle for the lead is the closest one. OKK makes another stop. Yellow flags for Tez, final corner.
He's having a spin. He's going again.
And that gap is closing at the front again. Ben in the DRS. Jake will force him to the left, to the right even, sorry. And that is move complete. But rest assured, that is not the end of this.
No, not even close.
Ben actually on a fastest lap sprint at the moment. That was the fastest Sector 2 of anybody with the DRS. And into turn 19 he goes. What has Jake got left in him? He'll get a bit of DRS on the main straight here.
Oh, penalty for Michel.
Absolutely needed drink there. Let's have a quick look at the penalty situation. KK 9, MXI 8. Tez was 6. And the stop situation, we're looking at Connor and Jordan must pit again, which they are doing right now, in fact. And other than that, oh, let's look at this battle then. For P5, Kieran, Risky Gareth. Tez has another spin in the final corner once again.
Carbon copy of his last lap spin, wasn't it?
Yep, you get the impression he doesn't like that one. Turn 20. Oh, risky. Good recovery, but it's going to put Gareth all over the back of him. This will be moved done way before the halfway point of the long straight.
He's passed.
So that is 4 speed drivers in a row. Risky, Gareth, Kieran and Pete. Gareth, the fastest of the lot, moves up to P6. And we'll try and hunt down Kieran, who's actually, despite pitting late on, there's another spin for Tez.
Yep.
Yeah, despite pitting so late, he's actually managed to recover something quite decent from this race. A top 5 would be brilliant for him. And Jamie as well, from 16th on the grid. He is sort of in no man's land though. But that's the difference between the front 2 who started 1 and 2. Ben Shaw, by the way, picking up his 13th career pole, puts him 3 behind Jamie Wright. The record, if you will. The only other man in front of him is Khalifa, who has 15 poles.
Tez has had another moment. I wonder if his tyres are red hot. I wonder if he'll come in to change them.
Try and steal a playoff point for fastest lap. Possibly. You are 16th anyway, so it's only worth a single point. You're not going to lose out point-wise if you were to do that. Michelle having a lonely race, so KK having a more lonely race.
Yes,
and Iceman. Yep, don't blame him.
That's his second mandatory stop, so that's him done. Oh, but he's got a penalty. Speeding.
I don't think he'll mind. It's been one of those races for Tez. Oh, he retires.
He's retired.
Never mind then. So he won't steal the fastest lap point. We'll continue watching the battle for the lead up front, which is now 6 tenths. And again, nothing else closer on track than these two. And it closes down to nearly 4 tenths at the end of, or the start of turn 1. I did have a good stat ready for you, actually. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, you'll like this. Ben Shaw has as many top 10 finishes in JACKOCAR as Jake O'Sullivan has race starts. How'd you like that?
Oh, that's quite
63. Soon
nice.
to be 64, actually.
Yes. Providing everything stays as it is.
Absolutely, and it's never quite over.
It's 5 laps, anything could happen.
And it could be one of those late safety cars that ruins it. Of course, at this point, with the lead these two have, surely you come in and change for softs, don't you? Do what I did on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'd think so. I think everyone's now made all their mandatories, so I think they would. I think everyone would pit. Apart from who was it who pitted on lap 1? I did make a note.
It was Mike and Quinn.
Yes, so
but
Mike
they are both done. Are they?
No. Mike's only made 2 stops. He's made 2 stops, but one of them was non-mandatory, so he's got to come in again.
You are absolutely spot on with that. Quinn has covered himself by doing 5 stops.
Yeah, I'm sure he's covered.
So Mike, the rule for that, by the way, if you don't make your 2 mandatory stops, is disqualification. I don't know how many people know. Risky will come in. This will be for a set of softs. He's going to go and try and steal fastest lap, which I think is owned currently by Kieran. Let me just get that information. No, it's Jake at 35.9. Good stop. It looked like one of those 2.3 second stops. And Mike, by the way, does complete.
We have
Quinn? Quinn.
Yep, Quinn's gone. Yeah.
Some call him Danny Spin. The second N standing for not asked. Kieran. You like that, didn't you? Kieran and Jamie then, the battle for P4. Give us some excitement, lads. I tell you, always fireworks when these two come together.
Pushing each other right to the track. Kieran's got no deployment left.
No deployment left, but he's got the talent to get past the 2-time champion. Jamie Wright struggling on those mediums. Of course, Kieran did pit slightly later. And the gap up front opening up to 8 tenths now. But midfield man around the outside of Risky is not going to pull it off this time. Of course, once he gets the heat in those tyres, here comes the yellow flags. Oh, I've missed it. It's there. It's a Michael O'Keke.
Yes, it was.
Going for another spin. So all we've had is the one safety car and the one VSC. As we do look at less than 4 laps to go now. 7 tenths between Ben and Jake up front. They've dropped Casper by 10 seconds. Midfield man picks up a 3-second penalty. And Kieran now runs 4th with Jamie Wright right behind him. Is that Michelle or Quinn going for a venture at turn 11? Yep. Michelle. OKK makes another stop. Look at Jamie Wright then. He's going to wait and wait and wait to make sure he gets a DRS. Clever driving. And that's why he's a 2-time champion. Season 2 Brazil and Season 4 Austin, Texas. Here comes Jamie Wright then. Returning the favour for Kieran as he returns to P4. He's never lost around this track.
Can he go for a lunge? Oh, too far back.
Far too sensible for that is Kieran. Maybe here though. Jamie sees it coming. And all it'll do is give Jamie another lap of DRS. Iceman is almost away from the DRS of Jake. It's nearly a second, but of course it chops itself down to 7 tenths by turn 1. Risky ahead of Connor. Connor, famously, by the way, known for spinning as well. He has not spun all race. He's P10. A good drive from him.
Yes, very good drive.
After a good qualifier as well. In fact, Connor is not far behind Risky still. Of course, Risky on the better tyre. Well, they're both on the same tyre, but Risky's on newer.
0.9 the gap at the front. Can he eke it out? No. Cadgeman will have DRS.
Leroy and Quinn, no love lost here. Look at this. Leroy will try and get underneath Quinn, who goes wide anyway. That was easy enough. Just a little bit of tension between those two in the chat earlier on. Gareth ahead of Jamie Wright. He come out of nowhere, didn't he?
He did. Who got someone off?
Michelle, I think, has spun, and Connor picks up a penalty.
No, it was Leroy.
It was Leroy, was it?
Leroy had a
He wants
spin.
to have another go at Quinn, that's why. And Jamie Wright goes to the right and to the left of Gareth down into turn 12 and retakes P5. Kieran has stormed away, but Gareth will desperately want another P5. In fact, he's not done here. Around the outside, there's a car on the outside wall. Can Gareth hang it out? And Jamie cleverly makes Gareth wait, but on the traction gets away and up into P5 he goes. We've got less than 2 laps to go here, by the way. Totally missed that. And Kieran P4. Gareth P5 with Jamie right behind him. Pete Knighton, despite his issues, has had a good race.
Oh, that's Michelle again. Michelle's just parked.
Has he?
He's just parked at the exit of the Turkey Turn 8. Oh, he's going again now.
Was he waiting for that other car to pass?
I think he was waiting for a big group of cars to pass, but he is a couple of laps down at this point.
Yep. And we'll
And
pit
he's coming
here
into the pits, yes.
in the hope that he gets lapped by the leaders who are in turn 12. Is that turn 12? That is turn 12, isn't it?
Yes.
I lost my bearings for a second then. Another spinner. This Michelle has retired from the race with less than 2 laps to go.
Shame.
He didn't want that single point that was on offer, and the gap now, by the way, we've only just seen it.
Oh, J-League's gone.
1.8 between the top two. Jamie Wright.
Oh, it looked like he's got a puncher.
He's got a puncher.
Yeah, right rear.
The 3-time race winner has got a puncher from P6.
He's all the way down to P12th.
These things happen in JACKOCAR. It's now 1 to go in Austin, Texas. Ben Shaw leads the way. He won before the break, and he's on course to win after the break, solidifying his playoff spot. Jake has dropped off by 2 seconds now. Casper not a threat. Kieran a good recovery drive. Gareth securing P5 for the moment. And what a shame for Jamie Wright. 3 race wins in Austin, and it's all come crashing down like this. This will be massive for the regular season championship. Quinn, Leroy and OKK, fair play to them. They've still going, the amount of problems they've had. But his Iceman will stay on board with him unless something drastic happens. Turn 11 for the final time then. And down this long straight, you can barely see Jake now. Wonder what's happened to him.
He's got this in the bag. Maybe he's just thought, do you know what? I'm not going to get him.
Maybe.
He's just eased off.
And just accepting a P2.
He's got no deployment. It's low on fuel.
Yeah, and just making sure he gets to the end. He will actually overtake Jamie Wright in the standings. But the man who is at the top of the standings, providing he can get it round these final 4 turns, will extend the championship lead. Just the 1 car in front, who moves out the way then for the Iceman, Ben Shaw. Race win number 7 in his career. The 2nd this season, and on top in the United States. He wins again in JACKOCAR. Catchman, a valiant effort in P2. Casper on the podium again for 2 races in a row. Spins across the line in style. We like that.
Part of his wing hitting Leroy.
Kieran. Oh, look at Jamie Wright. He's beached. Jamie Wright's beached. He can't go
Oh,
anywhere.
he can go. He's got 2 punches. He's got one on the front right as well.
He's not going to finish the race.
He will not. No, he can't go
Oh,
anywhere. He's trying.
this is
It's painful to
unbelievable.
watch this.
1 corner to go. Of course, JACKOCAR rules state you must finish the race. And Jamie Wright will not finish the race.
He's retired.
Unbelievable. The midfield man ends up with a top 10. Jordan is 10th. Mike with his troubles, P11. Jess looks like she's going to come home P12. She's not challenged by Quinn. He's a long way behind. We'll stay on board. Jamie's car disappears from the final corner. Yep, Jess P12. And Quinn with an even larger gap back to Leroy, who's actually had a spin.
Leroy has already finished. He's crossed the line.
Oh, so he has. My apologies then. So we are just waiting for Quinn.
We are waiting for Quinn. One more turn.
So drama at the very end then. Jamie Wright's championship battle takes a big hit. But a massive, massive gain for Ben Shaw, who's going to find himself, after this race, 30 points clear of Jake O'Sullivan in P2.
He will be happy with that.
That is huge. And I tell you what, it reintroduces Gareth Hall to the championship top 5. So, Matt, I will let you give a rundown of the order, because I've got some things to do here very quickly.
Okay, so on the top step of the podium, we've got Iceman, followed by Cajman, then Casper, rounding out the top 3. We've got a run of team speed. We've got Key, we've got Gareth, we've got Knighton, and followed by Risky. Now we've got Connor, Ben Spurs, and Jordan rounding out the top 10, followed by... I can't scroll. Then MK Bourne, then followed by Jess, Quinn, and Leroy Hasselager. I think that's it.
For finishers, OKK finished as well, so he will actually get 2 points.
Ah, good for him. He will finish 2 laps down, though.
Yep. And even though...
And then Michelle also finished, but he finished 3 laps down. And that's the last of the finishers in 17th. T, Jamie, and Yuri all DNF'd.
Yeah, so to clarify that, Jamie Wright will actually move down to 16th because he didn't cross the line, whereas OKK did. So OKK 15th.
Ah, okay, there you go.
Jamie 16th, but DNF. Michelle didn't finish the race either, so DNF. And of course, Tez, Jamie, and Yuri are DNFs anyway. As stated, Risky, by the way, did steal the fastest lap. Most laps led, I think, was Ben Shaw, but I'll confirm that after the race. And that rounds up our trip to Austin, Texas. Okay. It was very exciting in the end, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. A bit of a lull in the middle.
A little bit of a lull.
Excitement at the end.
Yeah, and
very good race and swings the championship a little bit more.
It opens the championship up, not necessarily for Ben. He's very much on his way at this point, but for drivers behind like Gareth and Casper now getting involved. But there'll be more of that next week when we go to Budapest. Pete Knighton has asked for it to be a wet race. I said, "What's your price?" But if it's anything like the Kia Series race there, that'll be very exciting as well. So. Matthew Shepherd, thank you very much on your commentary debut for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's been a good experience.
Maybe again in the future when Owen decides to let us down.
Yes,
but I personally can't wait to go back to being analysis. This lead commentary role is not for me. But there you go. That was Austin, Texas, round 5, season 7 of the Cup Series. We return in a week to Budapest. It is now very much from here to the very end. No more breaks. I've run out of holiday at work, so we will see you at the Hungaroring on the 16th of March. Goodbye.